Mankind knew that they cannot change society, so instead of reflecting on themselves, they blamed the beasts. Heaven or hell. God, that's so cool. Gamer Braves. Guys, it's finally here. Not even delay after delay could stop it. If you've been following this channel, you'd probably have seen my polls where I somehow work Guilty Gear Strive into at least one of the answers every single time. This is Wan Amirul from Gamer Braves, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel to see what game I base my entire personality off of next, and comment suggestions for such titles. Guilty Gear Strive is the fourth mainline Guilty Gear game, hot off the heels of Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator. If you've never seen a Guilty Gear, it's a highly philosophical game that asks, what if we combined a really good fighting game with a metal album? A good game, that's what you get. If you're totally new to this, Strive is what we call an anime fighter. While the dead giveaway might have been the game's gorgeous 3D anime aesthetic, that carries a little more weight in fighting games. Because like other anime fighters, Strive boasts fast combat, an insane amount of systems, and, well, a gorgeous 3D anime aesthetic. Seriously, Strive is gorgeous. Even comparing it to Xrd, there's just this level of new polish. Characters emote a little better, which is great because way more of the win screens focus on facial expressions now. Admittedly though, Strive is a bit of a step down from previous Guilty Gear's gameplays, especially the recently resurgent Axe and Core plus R. Combos are a little shorter, damage is a little bit higher, and the game puts way more focus into counter hits too, so it won't do you good to just hit buttons. But while it may be a little dialed back by Guilty Gear standards, don't for a minute think it means it's still not coked out anime nonsense. Guilty Gear has an incredibly diverse roster of characters, each with unique playstyles that could be their own fighting games, such as Zato 1's puppet gameplay where you control two characters at once, or Leo's forced side guessing as he mixes you up. Every character is incredibly satisfying to play and play against, though those of you with salt in your hearts might start running to Twitter to complain about how Potemkin's broken because he can grab you and take out chunks of your health at once. Cope harder, guys. The game also introduces two new characters, the dandy vampire samurai, god that's cool, Nagoriyuki, and the presidential bodyguard Giovanna. Nago's got a really clever mechanic, similar to Hakumen from BlazBlue, where he can chain special moves into each other, but instead of paying meter for it, he builds Blood Rage, which can throw him into a state where his health drains. In comparison, Giovanna isn't nearly as cool, mainly having really good buttons and a damage boost if she doesn't spend meter. Speaking of, one really cool new feature they added was the wall break. These let you smash your opponent through the stage walls, triggering a stage change and resetting the characters to neutral, similar to games like Dead or Alive. The only difference here is that players who trigger the wall break also gets increased meter gain, meaning that they'll have more tools to deal with you when you try to retake the match. Aside from that, there's other Guilty Gear staples like Roman cancels, now costing 50 meter off the bat, with the added ability to slow down your opponents to stop them from reacting. There's also the risk system, which remains one of my favorite ways to punish passiveness. Blocking builds risk, and if you get hit while you have risk, the hit does more damage. You can manage your risk by counterattacking, so turtle at your own risk. Gatling is kind of in the game, but not quite either. Your jabs are more for punishing, and don't gatling into anything other than dust. So now that I've talked your ear off about the game's systems, there's actually a lot to do in Strive. The game's actually very newcomer accessible, with a great tutorial covering everything from the basics to even character-specific matchups. Look, don't complain about not knowing how to deal with Leo anymore, the game straight up tells you now. There's also a really cool arcade mode, where other characters can tag in, turning the fight into a 2v1, as well as a survival mode that lets you keep going until you run out of health. While the review build we got didn't have online enabled, your old pal Juan from Gamer Braves has been religiously playing the open betas, and can also tell you that good lord is the netcode good. It uses rollback netcode, letting me go fishing for scrub codes by playing against even players in the US and Japan without worrying about the game grinding to a halt. We couldn't see how much they've changed the lobby since Beta 2, but you can make your own avatar and hit up the rank towers or free battle people in the parks. If you're one of the 5 people who understand the Guilty Gear story, don't worry, we're not spoiling anything here. Guilty Gear Strive's story mode continues the story of Soul Bad Guy, the titular Guilty Gear, following the events of Xrd. Unlike games like Mortal Kombat, Strive's story mode is super long cutscenes with no gameplay. The cutscenes themselves look great, though they're not perfect since characters use canned walking animations which can make them look kinda funny. If you're interested in getting into it, the game also includes GG World, which lets you see a who's who of characters involved. Guilty Gear Strive, unsurprisingly, gets a 9 out of 10 from us. Not just because I'm a Guilty Gear shill, but because the game is legitimately a great jumping on point for new players with its streamlined systems, excellent tutorial, and online that works. Well, when the servers aren't overloaded anyways. On top of that, you have all the fixings of a good Guilty Gear, such as its absolute banger of a soundtrack, so dumb it's cool characters, and just fun gameplay. What's your favorite fighting game? Let us know in the comments below. This has been Wan Amirul from Gamer Braves, and I'll see you in the lobbies when Guilty Gear Strive releases on PS4, PS5, and PC. Today's comment comes from our ROG Phone 5 review. Zerona asks, could you please make a video detailing what key mapping features the phone specifically has through Game Genie? I'd like to know if it has mobile controls for aiming skills and cancelling abilities. While our hands are a little full to make a video right now, we can tell you that yes, Game Genie is totally capable of doing that. The way it works is that it makes X button equal Y input in the game, so it stands to reason that you can do that with your MOBAs. Thanks for commenting, and don't forget to leave your own comment to get it read on the show.